Long-rumored CM Punk vs. Seth Rollins shockingly expected to happen way before WrestleMania 41. A stunning new WWE rumor claims the long-expected CM Punk vs. Seth Rollins match is now expected to happen well before WrestleMania 41. Since CM Punk made his triumphant return at Survivor Series last year, he and Seth Rollins have butted heads. The former co-founder of The Shield was enraged by his return after being one of Punk's biggest critics during his decade away from the company. Over Punk's first few months back, the two WWE legends circled each other, and rumors claimed they were on a collision course at WrestleMania 40. However, an unfortunate tricep tear for Punk at Royal Rumble sidelined those plans. Most expected the idea would be punted to next year's event as a likely headliner for Night 1. However, a shocking new rumor claims that is no longer the plan, and Punk vs. Rollins will happen far sooner than fans ever expected. Seth Rollins vs. CM Punk is currently slated to occur on the debut episode of WWE Raw on Netflix. Sportskeeda reporter Dr. Chris Featherstone, Ph.D., claimed on Tuesday. That is indeed a stunning turn of events, but does seem to explain some recent storytelling from the company. If the match were being saved for next April, WWE would hold off on the pair interacting until the road to WrestleMania 41. However, they clashed on last week's episode of WWE Raw and actually came to blows. The storyline was furthered on Monday's edition as well. With Monday Night Raw's debut on Netflix just a few weeks away, the fast-building timeline sets up for a match on January 6th. Many reports have pointed toward WWE putting a lot of effort into making Raw's first few months on the streaming giant impactful. You can't make much more of an impact than CM Punk vs. Seth Rollins in a dream match on the first episode of the new media deal between the two companies. The first match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk reportedly won't be saved for WrestleMania 41. According to Dr. Chris Featherstone of Sportskeeda, the current plan is to hold Seth Rollins vs. CM Punk during Monday Night Raw's premiere on Netflix on January 6, 2025. Seth Rollins vs. CM Punk is currently slated to occur on the debut episode of #WWE Raw on Netflix. I have been informed, Featherstone tweeted. CM Punk and Seth Rollins have been at odds ever since Punk returned to WWE in November 2023. They were originally planned for a match at WrestleMania 40, but those plans had to be scrapped after CM Punk suffered a torn triceps in the Royal Rumble. Punk then embarked on a feud with Drew McIntyre, but his issues with Seth Rollins have been renewed since the Raw after Survivor Series. WWE Raw will premiere on Netflix as part of a 10-year deal worth $5 billion. Raw will air on Netflix around much of the world, including in the United States. In addition to Raw, WWE's other programming, which includes SmackDown, NXT, and PLEs, will air on Netflix in many countries outside of the U.S., including in the United Kingdom. It has been known for months that WWE had big plans for the Raw premiere on Netflix, which will air from Los Angeles' Intuit Dome. WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H recently stated the company planned to treat it like a WrestleMania. Look, I had a lot of mixed feelings about this installment of WWE Raw as it was happening. Things came full circle in a fun way, though, and the storytelling was a strong continuation from last week. We're cutting deep, and I mean deep, folks. It's all set up for the return of Saturday night's main event, and it felt like it. We're going to see some titles change hands this weekend. So let's start with something we don't often see. 3 different explanations from people who all intertwine. We started with CM Punk in a pre-recorded backstage interview putting the favored Paul Heyman chatter on the back burner and detailing why Seth Rollins is such an entitled brat. That might be a little bit of paraphrasing summarization, but it's not far off. Punk justified his lack of interest by retelling Rollins trying to leech off him back in the day and dropped a blatant reference to the Shield. You guys might see the idea I'm trying to manifest. That will be dropping soon here on Uncrowned, but we look to be trending in that direction. I'm crossing my fingers and toes over here. All in all, the Punker made sense again. Before we get to Rollins, I will say he gets a thumbs down for continuing to wear the goofy outfits from his ridiculous Goober Troll gimmick. He's back to being much more serious, and it just does not fit at all. Rollins claimed Punk is spinning and manipulating the truth, as he does oh so well. We took a trip down memory lane with digs to Punk's WWE departure in 2014 and how Punk cut off all his friendships, including Rollins. Once Punk was gone, he tried to tear down WWE, according to Rollins. He had his own very fair reasoning due to some well-documented legal drama and whatnot, but I digress. In the end, Punk came back because he failed on the outside and, of course, the money was right. Excellent. Neither of these guys is wrong, and that's the beauty of this. Sami Zayn got involved in all of it by interrupting Rollins and apologizing for his accusations last week. That was a nice little piece of refreshment, and they both agreed they were on good terms again. Friendship for the win. But then it all ended with poor Sami getting beat down by Drew McIntyre. The returning Scotsman's earlier vignette saw him reflect on Punk joining Roman Reigns and the original Bloodline at Survivor Series, War Games, and like Rollins, he was upset that anyone would aid Reigns. McIntyre described how they all sold out for nothing, similar to Rollins' prior qualms. And again, the man's not wrong. McIntyre has been a big victim of practically Reigns' whole career at the top. He seems over Punk, for now, and set to take out the others. That's where the JUSO attack question was answered. It previously felt rushed going to a Drew versus Sami match at Saturday night's main event, but having Drew serve as an OG Bloodline hitman makes it work much better and is kind of cool. Great way to boost him back up even when he inevitably falls short to Reigns again. Realistically, I will say Drew would have been fired a long time ago if he had a competent boss. Seth Rollins is in an ongoing feud with CM Punk on WWE Raw. While there are worthy points each man has made, it is hard to label either one of them as babyface or heel. But perhaps Rollins has made the decision for himself. Wrestling legend Tommy Dreamer articulated why the visionary may have turned heel or is showing signs of it. This past Monday, Rollins was interrupted by Sami Zayn, another popular babyface. After they cleared the air and the former world heavyweight champion left the ring, Zayn announced that he would be competing at WWE Saturday Night's main event against Drew McIntyre. The Scots subsequently appeared on the entrance ramp as Sami Zayn was walking out of the arena. He beat up Zayn, but Rollins did not return to save his friend. Speaking on the Busted Open After Dark podcast, Dreamer questioned why the babyface took this route. Where the hell is Seth Rollins? He was there not even 2 minutes ago, and he's not going to turn around and help or see the chaos. There's agents separating McIntyre from Zayn. Did he just leave? Tommy Dreamer wondered. Rollins and Zayn's back and forth ended when Sami told the former world heavyweight champion that his issues with CM Punk were ultimately his business. The former IC champion added T.